Well, hello, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm just gonna jump right in. I'm not gonna do any spiel or anything. I gave myself another challenge. I really like doing these things. Like, I'll give myself a budget. I try to figure out how I can make something that I want, but kind of like pick it apart and see how I could do it on a budget. Kind of like the deconstructed cabbage rolls I made the other day. That whole meal came, not the whole meal, but that portion of the meal came in at $5.50 for 6 people on that main dish. So it's only because I picked it apart. Had I made real cabbage rolls, I would not have been able to do that with just a pound of ground meat. It would have been all cabbage and no meat. So I was able to do that. So I gave myself a challenge. I wanted to make 2 meals for $10, figure $5 meal, $5 meal, in one pot. And I achieved that, guys, and I did it for way under. Now, when I tell you the price, I could be wrong, because a lot of times I have the price in my head, forgetting that, oh, I have the tomato sauce at home, and I really only spent $5 here, but I had to pay for the, 92 cents or 96 cents, or the carrots I have that I forget to add in. But if I have it all right, I'm getting 2 one-pot meals for $8 and I think it's 4 cents. I don't want to be that exact, so it's less than $10, and there's way little room in there for other stuff. So let's just get started. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's see if those spots. Come on. All right, here we go. I'm using Walmart prices. Everything here is from Walmart, I think, except for the beans. I've had those for a while, so I don't even really know where I bought them from, but you could buy them at Walmart for 92 cents. So I think that's what it is anyway. So ding, you hear that? There goes my phone. As usual, I forget to turn it off. So let's just go over what I got here. I got 2 of the Spanish style rice. You could use whatever rice. You might get one with cheese or something in it. I cannot because of Eric, so I had to go with something that's friendly to him. I got some sausage, the breakfast sausage. I think that was only like $2.40 some cents. I got the shells. I got the cannellini beans. I got a green pepper, 2 tomatoes, and a can of sauce. Now, if I'm correct, that all came in at $8.04, and which leaves me plenty of room in the budget if I need something that I've forgotten or I just want to throw something in there. I would like to use like a splash of milk in one of these, but if I don't have to, I'm not going to. But, for another $1.25, you can get a thing at Dollar Tree or something, but for me, that's a pantry staple. I always have milk, bread, eggs, things like that. So let's just get started. All right, here goes meal number 1. I'm already thinking of something I could have bought to add to meal number 2, but when we get there, I'll show you what that is. So this is meal number 1. I'm going to use half that pack of sausage. That's the only thing that's being shared amongst these meals. Everything else stands on its own. All right, while I was moving everything around, I also diced up that green pepper. I was actually thinking maybe I should have gotten an extra pepper with the extra money, but I really do think that I got a big enough pepper. Anyway, I'm going to take half of this pack of sausage. These, I still got pepper in my hand. They have like casing on them. So you could either just kind of squish it out or cut it open. Is usually my preference, just to slice it down like that and then just take it out. Because that squeezing it down, a lot of times it leaves a pinch in there, and that's a no for me. See, I can't even get it out. So half of the sausage going in the pot. All right, so hands are washed. We're just gonna start breaking this up in the pan. Probably should get my masher thing, but I'll get it in a second. But all we're going to do right here is just mash it down, crumble it up, and brown it up. All right, got my masher. If I need some, Yeah, I think I'm going to just put just a little bit of oil in the pan. Just a little bit. All right, as this is finishing up its browning, I'm going to add some seasoning to this. I was thinking I probably could have gotten like the frozen log. It just didn't come to me when I'm walking around the store. It just, sometimes I think about it afterwards, like, oh, you know what I could have did? I'm going to add just some Italian seasoning in here. Maybe some paprika. Sounds like a good idea. Add a dash of pepper. We are going to be adding other seasonings as we go, but ooh, that smells good. To this, we're going to add up that chopped up pepper. I left them a decent size so that you get that stuffed pepper feeling. So we're going to cook this until it softens down, and then we'll season it up a little bit. If I need, in between now when I come back, I may add a little bit more olive oil if I need it, but only if I need it. While they're cooking, I've only been in the pan like maybe 3 minutes. I'm going to add some onion powder. Season with your heart. Some garlic. Ooh, that was a lot over there. Garlic powder. And because I don't have an onion, I'm going to add some onion flakes. I'm not going to rehydrate them like I normally would. I don't know why. I just don't feel like doing it today. All right, let's continue on. I'm going to add a splash of the water that I have for the rice, just to help it steam a little bit and deglaze the pan a little bit. Not a lot, just a splash. That'll help it move along. All right, back to the trenches. All right, I think they're softened enough. Okay, what I did was I added that can of tomato sauce in here because you got to add the rice. You got to add 2 cups of water per package, and I don't want to over liquefy it while I have the tomato sauce water ratio. Let me open these packs up. I thought of like maybe a loaf of crusty bread would go with this. That would be yummy. You could use like a cheddar cheese type one. That might be good too. Maybe chicken. I went with the Spanish rice because it's got lots of seasoning in it. I'm trying to be minimal. So we're just gonna let that toast for a second, and then we'll start adding the liquids. Okay, per the package instructions, 2 cups of water per package. There's 1 cup of tomato sauce. Get as much of it out as I can. I don't even know why. I was going to mix the water in. I could have just added it from the can because 8 ounces is a cup. This will be 3 cups. Another cup. We're going to let that deglaze a little bit. All right, we're going to let that, I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I turned it down too low. I think that's going to take, I think they're like 7 or 8 minutes. I didn't even look at the package. And we're going to let it come to a simmer and then reduce. Well, I looked at the instructions. It calls for a tablespoon of butter or oil, so I'm just going to add a little bit, even though I already added some to the pan, but just in case. Give it a little bit of oil. somewhere along the line, I'm going to taste the sauce and see if it needs a bit of like vinegar or lemon or a pinch of sugar because of the tomato. I don't want to be too tomatoey. That's the word. All right. So the last few minutes, I'm going to take the lid off. Let me tell you something. It's kind of hard to have you realize how much is here. But this pan that I use is extremely big. It's 14 inches across, and it's at least 3 inches deep, if not 3.5, 4. So that's a lot of food in there. So I just wanted to be mindful of that. I think I'm going to have a vegetable. And since they're on sale at Walmart for 50 cents, I think I'm going to throw in a 50-cent can of corn. I think. I'll ask the kids if they want just this or not. All right, so I tasted it. It could use some onion powder, some garlic, and some pepper. So I'm just using regular kind of pantry staples. I don't want it to taste... Oh, I'm putting more onion in there. I thought that was the garlic. I don't want it to taste like spaghetti, I guess. I'm gonna put a pinch of vinegar in there. This is white wine vinegar. A couple of splashes. I mean, that wasn't even a half a teaspoon. And I think it needs some pepper. I'm just gonna turn this off because I really don't need it to cook anymore. I'm going to add some salt. It needs it. Before we get over to start tasting, I had the kids at the dentist today. Eric and Aiden got a filling each. So they don't want to eat on camera because they said their mouth was a little sore and whatnot. So Tyler's going to do it with me. They also said they did not want any vegetables for the aforementioned reason. They just want the rice. They want something soft. So that was a good pick for what I decided to make tonight. All right, we're going to start plating that up. That's a lot of food. All right, that's how much food that made. I put them on the Walmart plates so you can get an idea roughly how much food is on here. If you had that with some corn or whatever, that's more than a good serving size. Let me take it down and show you close up. Look how full these plates are. They're extremely full. And that's just the main. This one back here doesn't have a lot on it, but that's kind of how I eat, even less than that. But depending on how many people you have to feed is what you got. All right, I'm going to meet you at the table. Dinner number 1. Eric's behind the camera over there. Aiden's standing over there. The little mouths hurt. They said this is perfect. So, Tyler didn't get any feelings today. So, I'm just going to make sure it's not too hot, baby. Okay? Okay. We're sitting a little bit close to each other, but that's all right. All right. You ready? Mm-hmm. On 3. 1, 2. Everybody eat it. 1, 2, 3. That kind of does taste a little bit like a stuffed pepper, don't it?
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that green pepper really shines through, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's really good. Well, I don't know if we need to do a wrap-up or not, but we'll see at the end of the next dinner what everybody thought. All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right, here we go. This is everything we're going to need for this meal. I'm a little iffy on this meal, so I might add something as we go, but I'm just going to start with how the recipe goes. First thing I'm going to do is boil some water. I'm going to add a little bouillon to the water, chicken bouillon, just to help flavor the pasta. You don't have to do that if you don't have it. All right, water's boiling. I'm going to add 4 teaspoons in here because it's about 4 cups of water in there. 1, 2, oops, I dropped it everywhere. 3, and 4. Then we're just going to add the pasta. And since I put that bouillon in there, I don't think I'm going to salt that water. We're just going to dump the pasta in there. And we're just going to cook that per the package instructions to al dente. I am so debating on whether I should put this tomato in my little mini chopper or not, because I want some chunks, but I also want some juice. Ah, man. I think I might just chop up one and slice up the other. I'm going to take off the teeniest of tiniest of piece right here. Just, oops. Just enough. All right. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to throw it in the chopper. I did wash these only because I ate a tomato once without washing it and I got violently ill. So don't ever do that. All right. I'm going to spare your ears and just chop that up without you. All right. I'm going to see how I feel about this as we go. Nice and soupy. Next thing I'm going to do is, I really don't know about that tomato. You know what we'll do? I'm going to get a plate. And if any juice comes out, then we'll dump it in. Again, just the nub or the stem, whatever you want to call it. All right, so I sliced them real thin. I'm just going to dice them up, and then whatever juice is on the plate, we'll add that to the pan. Pasta's done. Let me get that real quick. All right. I got the pasta out, and I saved a bunch of the starchy water because it's flavored water, and we're going to need it in the sauce. So I'm just going to dice this up like that. It's probably too small, but alrighty. There we go. That's all chopped up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up the beans. All right, so I'm going to use most of the can, juice and all. I'm going to leave some of the beans just for some texture, I guess, in the pasta. So there you go. I have about that much. And we're going to cream this up, make it creamy, like a sauce. Hold your ears. There we go. Got that all liquefied. All right, let's get over to the stove. I nearly forgot. I wanted to add a little bit of olive oil to the mixture. About a tablespoon. And then I'm going to mix it again. And I'll meet you over. Oops. I'll meet you over at the frying pan. Just like yesterday's meal, I'm just cutting it down the center and removing the casing. Just like that. So I was thinking, what if I used the frozen one instead of this one here? And I went and looked. It would have cost me $2.94, which was a little bit more than this is. But I did have room in the budget, and you would have gotten 16 ounces versus the 12 ounces. So do with that information as you will. I'm just going to chop this up with my masher, and then we're just going to brown it up. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil so it doesn't burn. All right, so this is mostly done. I still see a little bit of pink in there. I took about a tablespoon and a half of the minced garlic, and I added some of the starchy water to it. Let me get something to stir it with. So I could have kind of like onion in it. But that. All right. To the pot, I'm going to add some of my minced garlic. I buy these in a really big jar, and then I just put some in these little jars. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw some of the garlic in here. I'm going to put like two, like a regular, like an actual teaspoon that you eat from. 2 plops. And I'm going to add some Italian seasoning, and we're going to let this kind of heat in the pan. Teaspoon or so, or 2. Because there's no seasoning in our beans, so we're going to have to season the beans, the tomatoes, that. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder, a lot of garlic powder, I should say, and some onion powder. Now, I wanted to use regular paprika in here, but apparently I can't find mine, so I'm going to have to go with the smoked, but that might actually be okay. Sorry, my spoon was too big. I gotta get a tiny plastic one. All right, so about a teaspoon or so. I'm starting to smell the garlic. I'm gonna give that a little mixy poo. I'm just gonna give this a minute to kind of let things incorporate. Ooh, that smells like, almost like bacon. Like a barbecued bacon kind of a smell. I'm going to add the onions. I'm going to leave a little bit out just to save some for the other layers. All right, we're going to give that a minute to start incorporating. Okay, gave that a minute. We're going to add our crushed tomato, or minced, whatever it is, pulverized tomato. This is the part I'm thinking I should have either gotten another tomato or a small can of sauce, but I don't know. We're going to see. All the juices, all the tomato. And this, the diced tomato. All the juices. Okay. We're going to give that a couple of minutes. Going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm afraid that the spices are going to burn or stick or something. All right, we're going to add the bean juice. Now, my kids like beans. I'm just hoping, because I know beans can stand up to a lot of salt, and I haven't put any other than the chicken bouillon. That's real. Ooh, let me get that out of there. Hold on. That's really thick. All right, I got it out of that, off the little spitty chopper thing. All right, so let me get all this rest in the pan. All right, got some of that starchy water. Going to add a little bit of beans we have left over, and the juice. Pour some in this can. So it's just starchy water. About a cup, cup and a half. I have a bunch because we like things saucy in my household. So I always take out way more than we need. Okay. I'm going to let that simmer for a few minutes before I start adding any more seasonings. I know I have to add salt and pepper, but at this point, that's all I have to add, right, that I can think of. Going to add some pepper, a couple of good pinches. That's a big pinch for me. That was a huge pinch, a pinch and a half. Salt, about the same thing, because there's beans can handle salt. So a big old pinch. Okay, just got it everywhere. We're gonna let this come together. Gotta have a come to Jesus moment. All right, so I took a taste, and it's good. Both is good, but I think it's a little tomato light, and I wanted a little more tomato heavy. I don't want to get another tomato. I don't want to open up a can of sauce. So what I decided to do is I took a little cup like that, put a drop in it, and put half of a pea size of ketchup in there, and it just changed it. So what I did was I put a little squirt. Maybe it could probably use like a half a tablespoon of tomato paste or whatever. I'm gonna go with like half of what I got here. I probably should measure this. That's a teaspoon. So that's 2 teaspoons I added in there. I'm gonna add the rest, and that's good. I'm gonna give that a few minutes to simmer. I have more starchy water if I need it. It's something, there's something off, but I don't know what, but I'm gonna figure it out. It's good, it's just like, it's like off just one beat. All right, I'm gonna stop messing with it. I think it needs a little bit more paprika. Now this gives it, like I said, it's smoked, so it gives it a little bit of a different hit than regular paprika. So I'm just gonna add, I think that's good right there. About a teaspoon or so. We're gonna give that like 3 to 5 minutes to come together, and we're gonna add the pasta, and we are done. I think the reason I was having a little bit of a problem getting this to where I wanted it was because I started with a bean base, and that can handle a lot. What would be good is maybe some milk or heavy whipping cream, maybe some Parmesan cheese, or some kind of occasion like chili powder or something like that. I'm going to add the pasta in a little bit at a time to make sure, ooh, my hair was getting ready to go in there, to make sure that we have enough. We might have more than enough, so, but we're the saucy family, so. Let's give that a mix with my little spoonula. Oh, we're gonna have plenty. Plenty. Now remember, these were cooked in the chicken bouillon. I put more salt than I was comfortable with in here, but again, like I said, it's beans, it's like a potato. All right, let me mix this all through, get the rest of the pasta in there, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. There's a lot of juice in here, or gravy, I don't know what we're calling it. It sinks to the bottom a little bit, but I keep turning it over like that. There's quite a bit of sauce in the bottom. See? All right, let me plate this up. I think I'm gonna put some parsley on top for color, and maybe a slice of butter bread with it. Final look. Alrighty, here we go. I made some buttered toast, put a little bit of garlic on it, but that's my plate, and I'm gonna meet you at the table.
If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
Dinner number 2. Alrighty, we're just gonna dive right in because I'm hungry. Oh, it's still a little hot though. Oh, you know what I forgot to get was your Parmesan cheese, so we can put it on top, give it a taste. Ooh, mine's hot, mine's still steamy. I think I could do it. You ready? Mm-hmm. Let's go. Would you think that that was made from a can of beans?
That's good.
That's good. Let me get his, whoops. All right, so we got it open. I'm gonna take a little bit of yours, put it on mine because I don't feel like getting up and getting mine. There you go. And we'll take a little taste with it, and then we'll taste it with the bread, see if that does anything to it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Oh.
Oh. I was trying not to taste it because I stuck it in my mouth. To be honest, I think I like it better without it.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah.
I think it takes away from the garlicky, whatever taste that is we got going on. I don't know what this taste is. All right, let's try it with a little bit of bread. Yeah, he's definitely getting more. Let's see the way he's cleaning his plate. All right. Have it on a little bit of bread, see how that is. Because I kept saying, I think this would be good with a crusty bread, and I didn't have any. Ready? Yeah. Yeah. It was good with the bread. All right. Let me get everybody else fed, and we'll tell you what they thought about the last 2 meals at that time. All right. Bye-bye. Dinner's over. How we do? Boom. They ate it all. I mean, literally. I'm waiting for Eric to come over with the bread and start sopping it up. Not because he's hungry, because everybody had a lot. All right, here's the question to everybody. We made the 2 meals, the mock stuffed peppers and this bean pasta thing. I don't even know what I'm calling it. Which was your favorite? And overall, what do you think about these 2 meals for $8? Okay? So, Eric, you go first. Tell me what you think.
My favorite was the bean thing.
The bean pasta.
And the rice, the mock pepper thing was really good.
Okay. Gotta follow that, right? What you think, Aiden?
I really liked the first meal. Amazing.
The first meal was your favorite? What did you think about them overall? Would you eat these meals again?
Yes.
Okay. Tyler?
I think you did a very good job. The stuffed peppers were absolutely delicious, and so was the bean pasta. That was great.
And which was your favorite?
The pasta.
Today's pasta?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy, because I really thought they were gonna say the unstuffed green pepper, because that had a lot of flavor. This had flavor. It's just not a flavor that they're used to. And yeah, I kind of expected to go another way. Well, that's why I don't ask them before we get here, because I really want to hear what they honestly think. And I don't go first because I don't want to influence what they're going to say based on what I say. I like them both. I preferred the unstuffed pepper one. This was good. This was a close second. But if I had to pick, I think the unstuffed pepper would nudge out this one. But I will eat this one again. I probably do a few things differently with both of the dishes. I may have got it in the bread, which I kept saying it was lacking. That might have been a good thing to do. I might have used more tomato or petite diced tomatoes in this dish. And I think that, and I probably almost want to think that I might use a different can of beans. Not a different can, like another can of beans. Because the bean sauce was good, but using only a quarter of the can with my family that likes beans, it was like this random bean will pop up and they're like, yay, I got a bean. So it would, if maybe not so, maybe a little bit more bean in it. And again, I think this would have did very well with, if you got that big loaf of bread for $1.01, split it up between 2 meals, you'd be golden. So that's what I think. So there you have it. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. Leave me a comment either way. See you later. Bye.